Senator Joe Pittman joins us this morning. We talk more about the PIAA, Governor Wolf, and his recommendation yesterday that sports not be played in Pennsylvania until January 1st on the high school level. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Well, Senator, we have been batting this around today, the nature of the announcement by Governor Wolf, the reactions to it, and the way in which he sort of threw this out there and then turned around and walked away yesterday. None of it seems to be very palatable to very many people. What's your reaction to what happened yesterday?
I'm not surprised. This is the way he has managed this entire pandemic. It's candidly the way he's managed his entire administration over the last 6 years. For him to stand up and make what was seemingly an off-the-cuff comment and walk away with absolutely no guidance until his Department of Education and Health tried to clean it up after the fact is unconscionable. Our school districts have worked very hard to try to establish a level of normalcy in this process, to try to get our kids not just back to school, but back into a routine. And athletics and extracurricular activities, including band and cheerleading and all the things come with it, are an integral part to the overall educational experience. And for him to do it the way he did it, after so much planning and preparation by all of the districts and the PIAA, to me is just simply unconscionable.
Well, the governor made his announcement in such a way, and what I said as I wrote the story onto our sports page today was it created immediate chaos, and it really did. The reactions were, they were fast and furious would be the word for it. The folks just absolutely livid that the governor would do it in the way that he did it, and then the whole idea that sports is just arbitrarily done until January 1st just doesn't sit well.
And to dump it on the school boards the way he did after what he's put them through this summer and what they've been through, from my vantage point, he gave us an opinion. And there are 12.8 million Pennsylvanians, and we all have an opinion. And I appreciate the fact that he gave his opinion. But in his position and in his status, words matter. The reality is, though, school districts have the choice and have always had the choice on what athletics they offer. And if school districts, prior to his comments, felt that their students were being put in an unsafe position, they had the ability and the opportunity to cancel their fall athletics anyway. Same with the PIAA. They've wrestled with this, they've gone through these decisions, and they've made them in a thoughtful and considerate manner. The other issue is he has blanketly said fall sports. Well, all fall sports are not the same. We have golf programs. We have track programs. There are athletic and extracurricular activities that are not close contact sports. And he didn't even take the time or energy to try to somehow distinguish the difference between those. And, this isn't just about games. I mean, these are lives that we're dealing with. We're dealing with an entire generation of young people who are being robbed of their experiences through school and through extracurriculars. And there are a lot of students. I write a lot of notes to constituents, and a healthy amount of those notes are to families who have student athletes that have signed on for higher education opportunities. And that is their ticket. That is their ticket to an education, to a future, to a quality of life that otherwise they don't have. And he is seemingly ripping all of that apart. And I find it to just be wholly unacceptable.
The geographic element of this has to be addressed as well. We're not Philadelphia. We're not a hotbed. There are counties in Pennsylvania that virtually have no coronavirus infestation. And yet everybody's being grouped and lumped into one big category, and they're all being banned. And it doesn't sit well. A study from University of Wisconsin, more than 2/3 of 3,243 student athletes surveyed reports feelings of anxiety and depression at levels that would typically require medical intervention because of the cancellation of sports. This can do real harm.
Well, and idle hands, all right, are young people without athletics and activities and functions have idle hands, and it's not going to serve them well. And beyond your point of geography, we have to look at the age vulnerabilities. We have to look at the statistics and the facts as we know them related to the mortality rate, to the hospitalization rate, and to what is and who are the vulnerable population among us. That has to continue to be the focus of who we protect and how we protect them. And when you have to also keep in mind that student athletes and their families accept an inherent risk by joining the program. Every student athlete, every time they walk on the field, accepts a level of risk within the program that they're participating in. This is not a mandatory effort. They are not required to participate. They choose to participate. They want to participate. They want the activity. They want the engagement. They want the opportunity to be successful. And for us to deny our youth that, I think, is terrible.
As with the PSAC, this decision for January 1st, setting the date of January 1st, affects not just the cancellation of the fall sports. Half of the winter sports are also affected. Half of the season for the winter sports. These teams begin in early December to play a schedule and head toward the playoffs. The fact that you would force that season to be delayed and perhaps extended into spring will affect the spring sports. A kid playing basketball isn't also going to play baseball. It really compresses everything into basically a 3 to 4 month period, and it throws the entire sports landscape, extracurricular activities landscape, into absolute mayhem.
Which underscores the point I made at the beginning of our conversation. The governor has been governing by press release. He's been flippant about this whole thing. He makes statements, he makes edicts, and he doesn't think about the ramifications or the functional problems that it creates. You're right, not every sports season is created equal. They don't start at the same time. They don't occur in the same venues. Some are outdoors, some are indoors. They begin at different times. To say that on January 1st we're going to wake up and just restart athletic programs is mind-numbing. Not to mention the fact that what are the standards and the criteria for the reopening? How many cases is an appropriate number? What should the mortality rate be? What should the hospitalization rate be? Where is the matrix? Where is the objective criteria on how you make these decisions? Similar with the restaurants. He made the edicts on the 25% capacity. There are members of the media that have been for weeks asking the Department of Health and the governor to show them the data, the granular data, as they say, on what justified making the decision the way they made it. And they have yet to produce it.
Health Department yesterday turned down 2 right-to-know requests for that specific information as they continue to stonewall that issue. We're talking with Senator Joe Pittman this morning about the governor and his announcement yesterday about school sports. Again, one of the lawmakers in Harrisburg tweeting this morning, he is understanding that PIAA will back up the governor today when they hold their special emergency meeting. And obviously that is distressing for quite a lot of people. Senator, people are asking, what can I do? I know the legislature has been cut out of this process, and basically everybody is in the position of saying, Governor, please don't. And that's just not effective enough, is it?
We have to have our voices heard. We have to stand up. And I've heard the same speculation that the PIAA is prepared to cancel all athletics for the fall. But I hope they take a step back and recognize that what the governor said yesterday was a recommendation. He gave us his opinion, and his opinion was based on nothing factual other than his concern over the spread of the virus. We all have that concern. We share that level of concern. But we also have to understand that the collateral damage that is occurring is significant. And if we're going to inflict such damage, we need to do it in a thoughtful and rational approach. And his blanket recommendation was anything but thoughtful, and it certainly hasn't been productive.
The manner in which he did it yesterday, it's a pattern, as you said, the way that he has behaved throughout this entire process. Do you foresee in other areas, such as the reopening of schools in general, that the governor might one day say, okay, everybody's going along as they have been, and I've just decided I'm going to turn around and cancel it all again?
I can see I can foresee any scenario at this point, Todd. There is no collaboration, there's no predictability, and at this point, there's no accountability. I think anything's possible. I think he's become a true wild card, and I'm not sure what his motivations are or what's driving his decision-making process, but he's certainly not looking at the world around him and the collateral damage that he's causing.
Certainly is a sad situation. Senator Joe Pittman, anything else you need to add to this conversation this morning?
Well, Todd, I'm frustrated like everybody else. We all have different situations in our life. I know my wife and I are parents of 4 young children, and what our children and our youth need right now is a level of stability and normalcy. They need to feel confident and comfortable within the environment that they're growing in, and when we take away their ability to engage in our society, when we take away their ability to grow and thrive and prosper, we're robbing an entire generation of an opportunity here, and that's detrimental to our entire society, and it's heartbreaking.
Senator Pittman, thanks so much.